lovers, thank you for tuning in to Indie Cinema New York on BRIC TV. I'm your host, Kweighbaye Kotee, Bushwick Film Festival founder and director. I'm very excited that this episode will be about my very own brainchild, the 9th annual Bushwick Film Festival. The 4-day festival weekend is scheduled from Thursday, September 29th to Sunday, October 2nd in Bushwick. This year, our opening night and red carpet event will be at House of Yes and feature the film I Am Gangster, directed by Moritz Ruschenberg, and will close on Sunday with the screening of the hilarious comedy Dealer and the family-friendly film Ben and Ara. Here's a little taste of that indie cinema excitement. So that was the trailer to the 9th annual Bushwick Film Festival, and between Thursday and Sunday, we'll have 27 screenings, 13 events and panels, including the screening of Dreamgirl, whose director, Erin Bagwell, joins us with us today. Thank you for joining us on BK Live.
Of course, thanks for having me. Along
with the film's producer, Komal Minhas. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We also have with us actor Marc John Jefferies, known for his roles in Losing Isaiah, Get Rich or Die Tryin, and Notorious. Marc, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Marc is part of the festival's jury and tasked with selecting the best narrative picture. So we're getting started with you, Marc.
Cool.
So as a person who has great success in the film world, what is so special about indie cinema, and why is it important to keep supporting up-and-coming filmmakers?
I feel the most important thing about indie cinema is just real stories. A lot of times in bigger movies or bigger projects, it's all about making money. So a lot of the stories get watered down. It's not really a reflection of real life, and it becomes, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it becomes these made-up stories that are kind of reused and refurbished, and it's nothing original. So I feel that in indies, 100%, you get those real original stories that affect people, and it's the love of the craft that leads people to do that. You know, it's the love of the passion, and I feel that is something that we're missing in the industry nowadays.
What was your first indie?
Oh, dang, that's a good question. My first indie was Love Changes with Tyra Banks.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Was that an indie?
Yeah, it was an indie.
So Tyra was indie back then, too?
Yeah, that was my first indie.
Very cool. So Erin, Dreamgirl is your first feature.
It is,
and this is your first festival, I hear.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my
We're
God.
so excited to be in Brooklyn.
You were
for
just
it.
at the
It's
White House,
amazing.
and now you're at the Bushwick Film Festival.
Yeah.
So, you know, filmmakers struggle to finish their first films. Like, tell us about your process and how you got from working a full-time, 9 to 5 to quitting your job to making a film.
Yeah, it all happened just like that. Yeah, I mean, essentially it started because I was a feminist storyteller. I started a blog called Feminist Wednesday and became so obsessed with hearing women's stories and so excited about them. I was specifically really in love with women's entrepreneur stories. I've considered myself very entrepreneurial, but I never really saw myself in that space because I couldn't see myself in the media. And so when I started meeting female entrepreneurs that were my age, I got so excited, and I really just I kept telling all my friends about them, and I kept thinking, like, they're on the blog and we're featuring them, but I wish I could showcase their stories in a greater and a bigger way. I really want everyone in the world to know the stories of Mariama and Komal and Clara and Annie, and so I kind of took a little bit of a leap of faith and put together a film crew, and we ran a Kickstarter campaign that raised $100,000 in 30 days to produce the film. So since the Kickstarter, my life has totally changed forever. I have an amazing production partner, Komal, who has been with me every step of the way of this process. It's been so crazy to make our first film. We have no idea what we were doing, but just kept trusting each other, following our instincts. We have amazing executive producers, thank God, who helped us, we were making bad decisions or trying to figure things out and to find the story. So, it's been about 2.5 years in the making. We're so excited to be at the Bushwick Film Festival. I'm like ecstatic. It's our first Brooklyn screening as well, so really
you hear that,
excited.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, you better show up.
Talking about producers, Komal, you produced Dreamgirl. What's your involvement in the film, and what was it like, the whole process? Because you were one of the people in the film.
Which was really unexpected. So I actually came on set to offer camera equipment and just be helpful on set. And it kind of took off from there. We didn't really know what we were getting into. When I saw the Kickstarter campaign, reached out to Erin and just felt this passion and fire to have to become a part of this project. I didn't know what, I didn't know how. I had a little bit of money saved up that I wanted to invest, and so we started there. And then every month, every day, we started figuring out that we're a great team and we can bring this film to life. And on the producing side, a lot of it was just us coaching one another, figuring it out day by day, figuring out the financing, figuring out the logistics, planning the shoots, which Erin did most of that part of things, and then also deciding to self-distribute the film because we are doing a community screenings model where people can request a screening of the film, and we've had over 700 requests for screenings from 30 different countries around the world.
Wow, that's incredible.
This movement's really on fire, and it's been a privilege to be a part of it.
Well, with that said, let's take a look at the trailer of Dreamgirl.
There's a moment in your life when you know you're destined for something greater. There's a force pulling you to create, explore, build, and lead. There's no map to guide you. No blueprint to help you navigate, just a tiny voice inside of you, telling you to dream big.
I've never been the girl who let things go. When I want something, I'm going to get it.
What I learned about myself, no textbook or class or person could have shown me that. That came from here.
You have unique strengths that you're meant to give to this world. If you have it in your heart that you want to build your own company, don't let anyone or anything stop you.
Any person, male or female, could be a leader. I think anyone is capable. It just so happens that for us it's more complicated. I hope that this is the generation that changes. Yeah. Because I think that it's time for change.
So that was the trailer to Dreamgirl. I love watching the trailer. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I went through that process of quitting my day job and starting the festival and just going from there. A lot of women want to be entrepreneurs. So what is your advice? If we can just quickly give some advice to those women out there that are, hoping to go on a path that you guys took.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times we get really overwhelmed by our dreams. You know, I want to win an Oscar, I want to make a feature-length film. All of these things seem like super huge, big, audacious goals. And I think it's really important to just remember, like, all of these things start with really small, tiny steps that you just do every day to keep working towards it. So don't become so overwhelmed by the big picture. Like, start breaking it up into little steps and doing, like, as much as you can day to day to kind of get there.
And find a really supportive and great team of people to be around you. Like my family, my friends, they've loved us so much through this whole process, through the lows, through the highs. And that's been so critical to us persevering, making it through, and really picking ourselves up when we hit rock bottom, which has happened a few times.
Amen, amen. You know, Marc, I mean, you also have your own, the Millionaire Mind, is it? Like the own business. So what's your advice to entrepreneurs?
I would say my first word of advice is to do it. But before you do it, know how it needs to be done. A lot of people step into business and they know what their overall goal is, but they don't have the path laid out to get there, you know? So, like a friend of mine, I want to be an NBA player. Okay, that's cool. So how are you going to get that done? And no dream is unrealistic. It only becomes unrealistic when you're not doing the appropriate things to get there. So if you have a model, you have a business plan, you have any kind of passion that you want to create into a career, you have to know how to take, what steps to take in order to get there. And that's where people lose out.
Amen. And that also goes to indie filmmakers as well, because we have our own struggles. Marc, we're about to close, but I want to ask you, in your opinion, what makes a good film? I mean, you're a jury member. We trust your judgment. But what are you looking for when you're determining the best picture at the festival this year?
I'm looking for originality. You know, I'm really looking for originality. I feel that original stories that touch here is what's most important, because there's a lot of films that a person may leave and say, "Oh, that was a good movie," but then there's a lot of films that when you leave that movie, it makes you look at your own life, and I feel that that's what makes a good film, when it causes you to reflect on your personal reality. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, that's it. We're closing now. Thank you so much for joining us. You can see Dreamgirl at the on Saturday, October 1st. So that's it for ICNY on BRIC TV. Thanks again for joining us, and special thanks to our guests, Marc John Jefferies, Erin Bagwell, and Komal Minhas. Also at the festival is the world premiere of You Can't Escape Lithuania, the U.S. premiere of I Am Teacher, and a featured panel presented by the Tribeca Film Institute, and a Women in Film Day with films directed by and starring women, including the documentary Maya Angelou and Still I Rise, and of course Dreamgirl. So come check out all the films, discussions, parties, and excitement at the 9th Annual Bushwick Film Festival. For festival tickets to the festival and a full list of the program, visit us online at bushwickfilmfestival.com. ICNY is produced by BFF. You can visit us, indiecinemaNewYork.com. We'll see you at the festival.